I'm going to go over the review, chapter 3 review graphs 9, 10, and 11. And so for number 9 here, it said y is less than, and the first thing that we want to do is we want to look at both of the inequalities, and we want to see, are they already set up as y equals? And if they're already set up as y equals, then we don't really need to do anything else. To them, we can go ahead and graph them as a y equal, and then knowing that the inequality sign here simply tells us whether the line is going to be dotted or whether it's going to be solid. So we see for both of these that they are both just, this one's less than, this one's greater than, neither of them is equal to, so both of these lines are going to be dotted lines. Neither of them are going to be solid. So then we're going to go ahead and graph through this first one. So we know that our y-intercept is 3. We know we have a negative 3 slope, so we're going down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, which also means back 1, up 3, back 1, up 3. And so then we've got a dotted line through this line, these points here. Okay, and we'll go to the second one. We have an intercept of -1. So we're going to go right here. We have a positive slope of 1, which is a 45-degree angle, which is going to go straight through the center of all of those little squares. Okay, so once we have our lines, then where do we go? So in this case, for our red line here, I'm gonna pull red, it said that for every point on this red line, which is this first one that I used, y is less than the line. So if I was to pick a point on the line and I'm going to look at the y that is less than, if y is less than this point, that means I've got to go down. If I'm looking down here at the point 1, 0, and I'm looking at a y value less than, because we know that these are negative y values, these are positive y values, y is going to be less than it. So I'm going to shade all the spaces less than this line, right? And I have to look at only my red line, only at the red line at a certain point of time. Another way to check is, remember, we're going to look at 0. It looks like 0, 0 right here is shaded within my space. So let me check it. Is 0 less than 3? If y is 0, x is 0, is 0 less than 3? Yes, 0 is less than 3. So 0, 0 should be included in the highlighted portion, and it is included in the highlighted portion. Okay, so we're going to switch over to this one. So now I'm not thinking anything about my red line. I'm only looking at my blue line. It says that y is greater than this line. So if I'm looking at a point on this line, my y value is going to be greater than this line. Okay, so I'm going to shade all of the spaces where y is greater than my line. Remember, we're only looking at the blue line right now. Okay, then I'm going to recheck that 0, 0 point because it looks like 0, 0 was shaded in the blue space. So if y is 0 and x is 0 greater than -1? Yes, it is. So 0, 0 should have been shaded. So now I know that I shaded the correct side of that line. So now that we have looked, we have our red line shaded, we have our blue line shaded. What part do they overlap? Well, we can see that they overlap in this little wide section right here. So this is the part that should be the overlap for both of the lines. So remember to look at them completely separately, right? So I'm just gonna actually erase this here. And we will tackle the next one. Okay, so number 10 said x is greater than equal or 0, we have y is greater than or equal to 0. And I've got a negative x plus 2y is less than 8. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we have lines that have only one variable. So this first one has only one variable. It's great. It's actually equal to, so it's going to be solid. Okay. We have y, so just one variable. We're good. It's greater than or equal to, so it's going to be solid also because it's equal to. Now this one, we have two variables on the same side, so we need to solve. Really, you could solve for either. We have been learning to solve for y, so we're going to do that. We're going to get y by himself, which means we need to get rid of our x value in the first place. So we have 2y is less than 8 plus x. Now we need to get rid of the 2, dividing all of our sides by 2. And we have y is less than, I'm going to put the x first, 1/2 x plus 4. Okay, so now I have all three of my lines. So for this first one, I'm going to use red. So if I do x is equal to 0, if x is equal to 0, it's going to be the y-axis. Right? I'm going to use a blue line for y is equal to 0. If y is equal to 0, we're going to have the x-axis. Okay, so now I have this new one. Y is less than 1/2 x plus 4. So let's switch and we'll do a pink. Okay, so I've got my intercept is going to be at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My slope is positive 1/2, so I should be going up and it should be shallower. So I'm going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and keep repeating that. Down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2. Keep repeating. And then I go back and look. Well, I had just a less than sign. And right here I actually wrote less than or equal to, so I did that incorrectly. This should just be, oops, well that was wrong. I meant to do this. That should just be a less than sign. So since it's just less than, it is going to be dotted. So we're going to dot our line through there. Now we go back to shade. So for our red line, we're going to look at x is greater than or equal to 0. Well, we knew immediately that the line that we're looking at is this vertical line. Now remember, they gave us the x value. So now we have to think about x's. So along this line, we are going to work with every x that is greater than 0, which means all positive x's. If we are going to look at all positive x's, we want to shade the positive x side of this graph for that line there. Okay, so if my line is vertical, I need x's that are positive. So we're moving over here into the positive form of x. Now we're going to go to y for the blue one. We had y is greater than or equal to 0. We knew our y line equal to 0 is our horizontal line. Now I'm looking at y values that are greater than 0. Y values go up and down. So y values that are greater than 0 are going to be these ones that are up here. So I'm going to do everything above my line is going to be shaded. Okay. So now I have my pink one. Let's see if we can find a bright pink. There we go. Now I have this line. So again, we're not looking at the other ones. We're only looking at our pink line here. I'm going to do it in this darker pink. And it says y is less than 1/2 x plus 4. So my line here is y is equal to 1/2 x plus 4. And I want y values that are less than. So if I'm on this one dot and I want a y value less than, I'm going to look at a y value that is less than this line. So we're going to shade all of the values less than our line. Right, all the way down. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to double check this one. I just shaded over the point 0, 0. So I'm going to plug it back in. If y is 0 and x is 0, is 0 less than 4? Yes, 0 is less than 4. 0, 0 should have been shaded in that space. So now, which section covers all three? And we see that this little trapezoid type area is the one that covers all three, and that will expand out into infinity, but we're just looking at this section. So this should be our answer. And if they say, is 0.43, we'll look at that one, 0.43 a solution to this set, we would be able to say yes. 0.43 is a solution. It lies in the part that is shaded for all of them. If they said, is -2, 1, right here, -2, 1 a solution, we would have to say no. Because while -2, 1 is a solution for 2 of the equations, it is not a solution for the third equation. So it lies in 2 of them, the overlap of 2 of them, but it doesn't lie in all 3 of them. So it would not be a solution for all 3 of them. All right. And let's tackle the last one. And it had 4 equations to it. So our first equation is x is greater than or equal to -2. The second x is less than or equal to 5. Y is greater than or equal to -1. And y is less than or equal to 3. So the first thing that we see on all of these is they are all include the equal sign. So they will all be solid lines. Right? Now, we're just going to start graphing them. So I'm going to do this first one. X is equal to -2. So if x is equal to -2, it means for every value of y, x is equal to -2, I'm going to have a vertical line. Now I have x is equal to 5. Remember, we always graph it as equal to first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got another vertical line, all values of y, x is equal to 5. Now I have, let's pick some greens. I've got y is equal to -1. So if y is equal to -1, oops. I've got all values of x for y is -1. And then we're going to have, see this orange, y is equal to 3. So for all values of x, I've got y is equal to 3. So I should have formed these 4 lines, 2 vertical lines, 2 horizontal lines. So now we're going to go back and we're going to deal with the shading. So for the first one, x is greater than -2. So now I have x is equal to -2 right here. I am looking at x values. X values are horizontally, so I'm going to all of the ones that are greater than -2, so positive, towards the positive side of -2, and I'm going to shade that whole section and just keep going, right? Now I have x is less than -5, and so remember, I just shaded over 0.00 with my blue, so I'm going to check, is 0 greater than -2? Yes, 0 is greater than -2. I should have shaded over that. We'll check this way. X is less than 5. So here's my x equals 5. I'm looking at all x values. X values are horizontal values. Any x values that are less than 5, so we're going to go towards negative x values. So I'm going to start at my line, and I'm going to go negative towards the negative values of x. Now look, I just shaded over 0, 0 again. Okay, should I have shaded over 0, 0? Is 0 less than or equal to 5? Yes, I should have shaded over 0, 0. So now we're going to go and we're going to do our green line. Let's pick our green highlighter here. So I've got my green line here. My green line. And now I'm dealing with y values. So now we're going to be shading vertically. y is greater than negative 1. So if I do y, I've got my y equals negative 1. So now I'm going to go all y values that are greater. Y means vertically. So we're going to go up and down. We're going to keep going. Now I just shaded over 0, 0 again. Should I shade it over it? Is 0 greater than negative 1? Yes, absolutely. We should have shaded over that. Now we're going to pick our orange one. Here again, we are working with y values, so we are shading vertically. So y is less than or equal to 3. So we find our y equals 3 line. And I'm going to shade y values that are less than 3. So I'm going all the way down. Oh, I just shaded over 0, 0 again. Should I have done that? Is 0 less than or equal to 3? Yes. 0 is less than or equal to 3. I should have shaded over 0, 0. So now that I know that I shaded all of my ones correctly, what spot has all 4 of the colors? Well, the rectangle here does. It has all 4 of the colors. That means that 0, 0 here should be a solution to all 4. And we had checked that 0 is greater than negative 2, 0 is less than 5, 0 is greater than negative 1, and 0 is less than 3. So 0, 0 is a solution for all 4. 0, 0 should be included in the solution set where all 4 have shaded together.